Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Stadium. I am ChaosSinfulRose, off duty. In the last episode we finished up our trainer class and now we are in recess, and which recess means for here, we're going to be playing some mini games. Help unwind. So we're going to be playing some mini games, one player quiz, that's bunch of random Pokemon trivia throughout the, like, everything, and I mean everything, egg groups, gender, etc. It gets to be some really confusing questions. Anyways, we're just gonna be playing regular mini games at this point. Eventually we're gonna be going to the minigame champion idea. Also, I just like watching that Diglett kind of like bounce around down there. Also, now it's just like bang. There we go. I gotta keep it steady. So anyways, we're gonna start with the top left here, Gutsy Golbat, which is basically a dodging minigame while we're trying to collect hearts. However, you can actually steal hearts, like you could bash people really hard and take their hearts. So anyways, my control stick's really wobbly, so I'm definitely using the D-pad for this. Also, you can lose hearts by, yeah, that Magnemite. Also, you can tell who dropped what heart because the hearts have a little color outline there. Also, it's worth noting that you if you have a transfer pack and have Pokemon Gold or Silver, or I think even the original 3 as well, red, blue, or yellow, you can actually put your own Pokemon in here as well, which means your nickname Pokemon could be in here, whether or not they're shiny. Wow, that guy lost a lot. And actually, it's not even limited to Golbat in this instance. I think Crobat is also available to play. Also, Jinx. Wow. It's like, why? And I'm like, yeah, Jinx hearts, yeah. Wow, that was weird sounding. Anyways, Crobat is also good for Gutsy Golbat. Now, this one was a favorite of mine. There's several of these where I absolutely love the mini games, like Topsy Turvy. Hip on top. All right. So the object is to spin near opponents while trying to keep yourself in the ring and knock them out. It's fairly simple, but you kind of have to knock them directly toward a wall. Oh gosh. One of my usual strategies is kind of like roll around the outside. Not always the best strategy, but it works out quite well for me most of the time because you can't knock yourself out. Well, you can, but not this way, because your momentum is being situated around the side here. Wow, that guy just got bolted out of the ring. And I just cut through there, and Green is very passive. Very passive. Which is, wow, he just like, did he just like bounce off Yellow and Yellow stole it from me? Whoa, what just happened? Did I seriously knock Yellow out? What the hell happened? It was like that ending blow was ridiculous. It was like, oh god. Alright. Now for the hard one, we're gonna be ending recess off with this. Our clear-cut challenge. No, I'm not gonna be Pinsir. I'm not. I don't really like Pinsir all that much. No. No. Come on. There we go. I can live with that. And the green Pinsir too. Also, each of these Pokemon have their own nicknames, as you can see right there, because they're given to you. So basically, we're gonna have to time our cuts. We get points for cutting below the line, we lose points for cutting above the white line, and get a better score for cutting right on it. So first cut. This is all about timing. And I just lost points. even though I didn't have any. I think Scizor is also a valid option here. Not entirely sure on that. Oh, no, no. Come on. I'm better at this. I'm getting like some sort of lag when I press the thing. My N64 stuff is relatively old, so I'm not really surprised. Ooh, that was a clean cut. And 20 whopping points for cutting directly on the line, which already puts me in first, despite my horrible start. Also, these are pretty much randomly dropped, so you have to be on your toes. Because they can literally, like, get all the way up there, and then they drop it on you, like, right away. 5 cuts. Dramatic pause. Alright. Good 10. Which means we win. Oh no. We're dizzy. Well, that was generic. So anyway. Well, time to get back to duty. Hello one and all. I am Professor ChaosSinfulRose. And welcome back to the Pokemon Academy. Anyways, I gave you a sneak peek at the lectures here. Let's get started because this is actually relatively short. So we're going to start by learning about dual-type Pokemon. This is long, 14 pages there. Yes, gym leader class, yada yada yada. You already know that some Pokemon have 2 types. For example, consider a grass-poison type Pokemon like Victory Bell. The power of its grass and poison type moves will be multiplied by 1.5. Which is stab damage, as we learned in the trainer class. Dual-type Pokemon also has 2 sets of type matchups. Especially important. Do you know type matchups? I covered that at the beginning of the last episode. Double damage is inflicted if a move is super effective. If it's not very effective, the power is halved. If it has no effect, it has 0. If it is a double not very effective, then that's like a quarter damage. So, Type 1 and Type 2. Say a dual-type Pokemon is hit by attack. Also assume that type matchup of the attack move is good against both types. Type 1 takes double damage, and Type 2 takes double damage. Now multiply 2 damage multipliers. 2 times 2 equals 4. The move's power was quadrupled, which means you're probably gonna die. Not good. Even more incentive for you to choose your Pokemon carefully. For example, Macargo here is a rock-fire type, or fire-rock type, whichever. But if, say, somebody uses Hydro Pump on him, it would be super effective against rock and fire types, which means Macargo's gonna be extinguished pretty damn fast. So the opposite also has the same effect. Type 1 has the damage, Type 2 has the damage, so you only get hit with a quarter of the damage for a double not very effective power. So a bug poison type would get hit by a grass type attack. Spinarak here just takes very little damage, probably single digits, if not very little double digit damage in that. So Type 1 takes double damage, but Type 2 halves the damage. They basically cancel each other out, so it's like, it's normal, you get normal damage. So water electric type. Lantern here is water electric, like Chinchou. There's very few water electric types. This was actually revolutionary for its time. Electric type attacks are not very effective against themselves, but very super effective against water type attacks. So half and double, it cancels itself out. But for a super effective move against a Pokemon, and also not effective at all against a Pokemon, that's 2 times 0, which means if one Pokemon has that one type advantage, like Quagsire is a water ground type, so say it gets hit with Thunderbolt, the ground type will completely cancel out Thunderbolt, saving him from any damage. Or like this, Poison Flying, like Golbat. Ground type's very effective against ground type move Earthquake's very effective against poison type Pokemon, but is absolutely neutralized by flying type. So basically, no effect.
Indeed.
Dual-type Pokemon may have more weaknesses or cleverly cover for weaknesses. So, let's see what his question is. Which type of move will inflict quadruple damage on a fire rock-type Pokemon? Water-type. Because that stuff hurts. I like type advantages. Especially just because of that. That's probably why I got into them so much. Alright, the lesson is up on matchup math. Alright, now here's where it gets really painfully interesting. I told you about Pokemon that have 2 types. A dual-type Pokemon... Damn it, Earl! You're being very talkative. Let me speak. I'm the one teaching this class. You're just mumbling. Ugh. Anyways, multiplier of the 2-type matchups. At most, the damage could be quadruple. At its worst, it might not inflict anything. But there are other multipliers you need to consider for this. If the Pokemon's type and the move type are the same, the attack's power is multiplied by 1.5. Critting, hitting weak spot means double damage even more. So let's say you have electric type Ampharos and then you have water flying type Gyarados. Ampharos uses Thunderbolt, which is electric type, which matches his type. If the attack is a critical hit, Ampharos's electric type move being used by electric type Pokemon plus Thunderbolt striking the water flying type Pokemon will result in quadruple damage, and the critical hit doubles that. So with all those factors in place, you get 12 times the damage. So basically, it's gonna be gone unless it has like Endure or something similar. And God forbid that they have Destiny Bond, otherwise you'd be taking yourself out too. Because that would suck. If the move's base power is 10, it'll be multiplied by 12 to make it 120. So say Earthquake, which is a spectacularly powerful ground type move, hits Macargo, and it crits by say Rhydon. That's massive damage, and I mean massive damage. Because Earthquake has a base power of 100. Multiplied by 12, you do the math, that hurts. What is the lowest possible damage multiplier? Well, 0. If the move doesn't do any damage, then it doesn't damage. It's 0. So, back to... Now we've gotten past type matchups, which is probably my favorite part of this gym leader class lecture. We're gonna move into status problems. Normally status problems do not double up, however, I imagine you've experienced situations in which a Pokemon suffers from more than one kind of status problem. By the way, paralysis, freeze, burns, sleep, poison do not mix together. You can only have one of those status effects at a time, and usually if you're already paralyzed or something, you can't get burned, poisoned, etc. But rest will like immediately put you into sleep and change that completely. But confusion, attraction, etc. is another kind of status effect entirely. As I said, those two status problems can be divided into 2 categories, whether it is indicated or not. Confusion, attraction, etc. will not be indicated. However, yeah, poison, paralysis, burn, sleep, and freeze are the real status problems. But similar status problems are confusion, curse, nightmare, attract, flinch, and leech seed. And flinch is lowercase because that's a side effect of a move like headbutt or bite, whereas confusion, curse, nightmare, attract, or leech seed are actually move names. No. These conditions are indicated on the screen are real status problems. They don't double up. If a Pokemon already has a status problem, it can't be hit with another one, which I just got through explaining. If a sleeping Pokemon status would be indicated as SP or SLP, in that situation it's not vulnerable to any other real status problems such as poison, paralysis, burn, or freeze. Any move that could cause a burn will thaw out a frozen Pokemon. The heat causes ice to melt naturally, so if you have a frozen Pokemon, hit it with a Fire-type move. Even if it's on your own team, it'll melt the ice. However, a Pokemon with a status problem is still susceptible to any kind of other kind of abnormality. So, using Confuse Ray or Attraction on a status-afflicted Pokemon will still make them fall in love or confuse them whenever they get start attacking. But it is possible for Pokemon to be inflicted with multiple kinds of these unreal status problems. I'm just gonna call them unreal. So it can be confused, attracted, cursed, flinched. It's a bunch. There's a bunch. And nightmare. That stuff hurts. Like, seriously, can you imagine have all the status problems at once on you? It's like, oh, come on, let the attack hit, and then, like, one random one of them just stops you dead. So anyways, those confusion, sleep, not sleep, confusion, attraction, curse, nightmare will be healed upon when the Pokemon switches out. Whereas the real status problems are gonna persist. But, as he said, Mean Look here would make it impossible for your opposing Pokemon to switch. It also works with Spider Web, which also makes it impossible for the Pokemon to switch. Of the following, which loses effectiveness if Pokemon switch? The top three are real status problems. Confusion is just a side status. Alright, set damage moves. I accidentally stepped on my wire and my mic got unplugged. Imagine that. Anywho, let's continue. Moves like Sonic Boom, Dragon Rage, Nightshade, and Seismic Toss. There's no need to worry about attack or special attack stats. For example, let's say Gengar uses a Ghost-type move. Move's power is multiplied by 1.5. However, Gengar's attack stat is relatively low. Ghost-type move is a physical attack, which means its power depends on its attack stats. In that case, it may be more effective to inflict a set amount of damage using Nightshade. What move is most effective? Well, let's get into the key points like he says. The power stays the same even if stats are raised or lowered by support moves. However, it is possible to change the accuracy of it. So you can make it more liable to hit by lowering the opponent's evasiveness or increasing your own accuracy. Even if Reflect or Light Screen is used, the damage by set damage moves will not be affected at all. Alright. Question. How much damage will a set damage move inflict on a target that used Reflect? It doesn't change because it's a set damage move. It will always inflict that much damage. Period. Alright, moves and tactics. Alright, here we go. Here's another good one. He covers the two moves of Fly and Dig. Rather, we did, but still. Both moves avoid damage on the first turn. Describe some tactics that take advantage of that fact. Of course, these moves do not protect the user against status abnormalities such as Curse or Poison. But there's more. There are actually moves that can strike a Pokemon while it's using Fly or Dig. Moves like... Okay, making sure... like, every time I feel a tug on my wire, it's like I feel like I disconnected everything. So anyways, moves that can strike a Pokemon that's using Fly include Thunder, Gust, Twister, and Whirlwind. So 4 moves in this generation. And I believe Sky Uppercut was introduced that... I think it can also hit a Flying type Pokemon in 3rd gen. In particular, Gust and Twister double in power when the target uses Fly. If a Sandstorm is blowing when the Pokemon uses Fly, that Pokemon will still be hurt. There are also moves that can attack a Pokemon when that's using Dig. They include Earthquake, Magnitude, and Fissure. Fissure is an instant KO move if it hits. So, if you can land that, more power to you. The moves Earthquake and Magnitude are doubled in power when the target Pokemon is using Dig because, well, they're underground. Can you imagine getting caught in an attack while you're underground? There's nowhere for you to go. If the opponent is using Wrap or Clamp, it's still possible to use Dig or Fly, but your Pokemon will still be hurt by the restraining attacks while flying or underground. Also, the two moves Mind Reader or Lock On can make any move hit, regardless if they're flying or underground. So, basically, use your moveset accordingly, see what you can pull off. If they're trying to evade you, use a combo or use a move like that to try to bring them down. Aw, I'm still gonna have to end this early. Which move will inflict double damage on a Pokemon using Fly? That would be Twister, because windy type moves. So we still have another 7 to go. Multi-type moves will... You know what, let's finish this one off. Alright, a key point for winning at the stadium, yada yada yada. If the Pokemon's type matches the move type, it's multiplied by 1.5, but this could trip you up. If a Pokemon has only one type of move, it will be at a great disadvantage against a Pokemon with a poor type matchup. For example, the Fire-type Pokemon Typhlosion. It certainly is a tough Pokemon, but what if its Pokemon is a water? If its opponent is a Water-type Pokemon, if Typhlosion knows only Fire-type moves, it can only inflict half the usual damage. So that puts Typhlosion in a tight spot. And it being Typhlosion, I wanted to actually do something. But what if it also knew Thunder Punch? Ah, yes, this inflicts double the damage. Which, also, if it knew an electric type attack as a fire type, it would definitely catch your opponent off guard. It's like, crap, he knows he knows electric. But if Typhlosion also knew move Earthquake, it also could hit Fire, Poison, Electric, Rocket, Steel type Pokemon with super effective attacks. Think of balance. In Cup competition, wide variety of Pokemon, balanced Pokemon. Earl, I know it's simple. This is why I am explaining it. In conclusion, the key to battling is to use different types of Pokemon and moves. If you heed advice when assembling your team, I'm certain you will conquer the competition. Because state, I'm just gonna bypass state entirely. Which move is super effective against Water-type Pokemon and can be learned by Typhlosion? It'd be amazing if it could learn Thunderbolt, but Thunder Punch. So anyways, this is slightly longer than I wanted, but I've been Professor ChaosSinfulRose. Thank you for watching. And in the next episode, we will be going into Trainer Battle subheader and going to learn about leadoff Pokemon. So until then, keep studying, and I'll see you in our next class session.